Gamescom stuff. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Improperly Packaged, a show where we unbox topics related to movies, TV, games, and whatever and stuff. My name's Jordan. With me is Luke. How you doing, Luke? And stuff. I don't know. I mean, that it's really all the same category. How's your week been going, man? Yeah. I'm glad you're making it, Luke. Things are going all right here. Just yeah, fender bender. Not really a fender bender. It's a rear ender. I was the recipient. Someone else's, yeah. I was the only one whose fender was remained unbent, but my bumper got bruised. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, there's a car accident where it's like, oh my God, oh no, your car is totaled, the whole 9 yards, you're going to the hospital, all that stuff. Obviously terrible, like horrible. I'm glad that didn't happen. But like, then there's the ones where you're just like, this is just annoying, where it's like, my car isn't totaled. At least I don't think so. I don't think they're going to total it over just a bent frame in the back, but who knows? But yeah, just like my annoying stuff, like my trunk won't close. It's just I can't drive it like that, and so was it the same thing? Like your frame got bent? Is that? Yeah, yeah, that's pretty bad. Deep cut. Mm, yeah. Give me that gap. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. For me, definitely that would be a thing. Yeah. Right. Hmm. It can work out. Things can work out well. No, it's not. Hey, hey. Walking out of here with a Tesla. Just kidding. I'm probably no way. That's the goal, right? I guess. I have no idea. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Just a little sore neck, but yeah, a little sore neck, but that's to be expected. It's like that's always your souvenir when you go to crash land, regardless. Hmm. You got better after the crash. You're like, I feel great. Oh my god. Yeah. Let's now it made you want to be more measured. I better. Uh-huh. That's like the point where that happens. You're like, well, I win. So no matter what, I win. I'm 100% in the right. Whatever happened, you get the W on that one. Did you say nanny nanny boo boo? You're like, bleh. Would the cops allow that, or would they be like, you know what, just for that you're going into to make a mockery of this process? Oh my god. Oh, surprised you suck around. Yeah. Oh my god, instead of oh, you wouldn't have made it too far. Peace out. Good luck with all my bull crap. See ya. Oh boy. Well, anyways, yeah, we just. Anyways, dude, welcome to the show. That's the whatever. Car crashes today. It's usually food, but today, car accidents. Excellent. Whatever, man. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about what we've been watching slash playing. I don't remember who it was. It was me who went last time, I think. Yeah, I think so. Who knows, really? I don't really keep track anymore. Victors. Victor. Putting on that like. Ooh, wait. Now I really want to listen. Oh, you're speaking my language, cat language. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, no one is like, ooh, what are you doing? You know? Ooh. Exactly. Okay, I now know that there's a guitar in the song. Cool. Um, I've been listening to I hope I'm getting this name right. It's kind of an interesting one. Beba Doobie. Yeah. Yeah, it's all one word, spelled Beaboobeee. How about that? British singer-songwriter. She's pretty young. She's like early 20s. What I will say with this, when you look her up, don't do the thing where it's like you go to the popular ones and hit the first one. I think like her whole thing is like, I know, but that's like she's featured on a she's like featured, and it's like she's unrecognizable in it. So it's like that song is completely not indicative of what she does. Go ahead and just listen to her most recent EP, and then maybe her most recent full-length album. So I'm talking about Our Extended Play and Fake It Flowers. I think that's pretty much indicative of who she is and where she's going as a musician. As but I like it. I think like what she's doing is like there's so much retro stuff going on these days. It's like everything always goes back, right? Everything always comes back to whether it be like 70s, like with stuff like and then now 80s like a lot. But this one's like a lot of 90s, early 2000s kind of alternative rock. Sort not alternative rock like Creed and stuff like that. This kind of reminds me of maybe mix Michelle Branch with Third Eye Blind. Is kind of the vibe I get from a lot of her songs. So she has a expect. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know exactly what you meant. Yeah, and it really does, but it's good stuff. It's kind of like I realize I'm like, man, I do miss this music, and you know, hearing it through a modern artist. You know, they do bring something new to it that, you know, obviously wasn't there in the past, that, you know, is kind of flares of like modern pop. But I don't know. I enjoy it. I think the ones that I recommend off that album is Last Day on Earth and He Gets Me So High, and song off Fake It, Flowers, Diet Red, and Sorry are really, really good ones. But yeah. Yeah, really enjoying it. We've been watching slash playing, Luke. Mm-hmm. Oh, Hulu movie, right? Or they released it on Hulu. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. Barb and Star visit Del Mar. Yeah. Grounded, okay. Yeah. Not a moment is serious, yeah. Okay. Hmm. How was John Cena in this? Yeah. Nice on the cough button. That was good timing. Yeah. No. I think he's needs to find his place, I think, as like where he fits in, as far as like where are you the most likable. Because at first I was like, I think he has a future, and then I saw F9 and I was like, I don't know if I like him. And then seeing this one of his worst, and then after I saw Suicide Squad, I'm like, no, I think he does have something to offer, as far as like that just sheer entertainment value. No, I don't think John Cena performance is ever gonna make me cry, but yeah, yeah. Mel Brooks, Mark Wahlberg. Mm, yeah, okay. Playing with fire. And there's blockers. Yeah, yeah, cool. Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't know that. I agree. Yeah, I've seen the first season. I have not seen the second yet. But yeah, I agree with you. As someone who's like into movies and the arts and is a Christian, I find myself being extremely hard on Christian media. I want it to be good, but it's like I find myself being very frustrated when it's like not. And it's like we don't have to try. We just have to be emotionally appealing, and church women will, and church ladies, old church ladies will love it. But like this, I do feel like this is something where it's like, you know what? We're going to try to really write something here, really make characters and put the characters first and foremost, and it's I can imagine it being really hard to do that with the New Testament, and like to be like, you know what, we're gonna embellish a little bit, but not to the point where, but also keep it to the point where it's like, yeah, that feels right, that feels like, that could have been something that Peter would have done, and I think that's really brave as far as like Christian filmmakers to actually do that, because like that sort of thing will definitely with different churches be like, how dare you know what I mean? But I personally love it. I think it adds to, if you make the characters more like live and breathe, instead of just be like, we're gonna basically the script is going to be the scripture and that's going to be it. And he's like, you're not going to have much to work with, because that the Bible as written and just as written was not meant to be a film adaptation and so, or a TV show. And so you have to do something creative there. And I think I think they did a great job. Like personally, I'll have to get around to watching season 2 though, for sure. Peacock, interesting. I had no idea it was on there. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think the second one's ongoing right now. I don't know if it wrapped up yet, but yeah, that is cool. It's easy for me. Got anything else? Um, so wrapping up a few things on Apple TV Plus. I'm continuing that adventure through that streaming service. So I finished season 1 of Ted Lasso. I talked endlessly last episode about that, just basically praising it for a good 10-15 minutes. So all those praises continue. We'll start season 2 soon. But we finished Schmigadoon, whatever. Nice try. I'll say that. I think like a decent effort, but all in all, felt like kind of a miss to me. I feel like this is a show that should have been a movie, like plain and simple. Like it's one of those things where it's like, if this was condensed into like a 2 hour, 45 minute movie, you'll have probably like, you'll have all the interesting and fun moments and none of the points of like pointless moments in the show. It's one of those things where it's like, this is a 6 episode series, and it, like, I think series, it says season 1, but it feels like the end of a series. It wouldn't have taken a lot of work to make it a movie. I feel like there's a lot of this going on. I don't know what that this is, where I don't know if it's more profitable or nets more subscribers for these streaming services to say this is a series, but I feel like, hmm, yeah, I see. So it's like, who wants this? Yeah, because everyone does this. It seems like this isn't like an Apple TV thing, or it's an everything like thing where it comes to all these different streaming services. There's some where I'm like, this clearly should be a series, and I'm glad it's a series. Like Ted Lasso is obviously a series, and it needs to be a series, and it's great. But like so many shows, I'm like, when you're going through Netflix and you're watching the trailer for something, and you're like, wait, that's a series? Where it definitely feels like something that would be better told as a movie, and then you find out it's a series, and it's like, it. Oh my gosh, I know. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And Smigadoon's one of those. It's just like, it has some really fun musical numbers and some cool ideas here and there. But if it was condensed into like an hour 45, I think all your cool ideas would be more prevalent. Instead, we have the 6 episode thing where I'm just like, okay. And then when it ended, I'm just like, well, there it went. Like, I didn't really feel much or whatever. It's just like, oh, the moment at last, it's over. Well, it just, I don't know. It was fine. It was fine, but I think not great, to be honest. Um, I can't really recommend it. Yeah, like I don't know, even to lovers. Okay, so if you are, I don't consider myself this, but if you are a hardcore musical lover, like at a certain era of musicals too, if you're a hardcore that, you'll find enough there to at least enjoy a little bit. I don't think you're gonna immediately love it because of that, but I'll recommend it to that person. Everyone else, pretty much, just no, I don't think you're gonna get much out of it. Um, So I've been on a No More Heroes kick. I kind of mentioned this a little bit. The third one really snuck up on me. Like it's a game that I've been waiting for a long time, and like as abruptly as it was announced, and like oh my god, it's coming. This isn't like a Kingdom Hearts 3 situation, by the way. This is like No More Heroes 2 happened. Then we got a spin-off of Travis Strikes Again, which is kind of like an indie game. And then just shortly after, they're like, No More Heroes 3 is coming. And then a year later, it's out. Or a year and a half, something like that. And so it's very much kind of just, here it is. And so yeah, I had this whole thing where I'm like, I'm going to play 1 and 2 again. And so yeah, I really just kind of marathoned No More Heroes 1 and 2. They're shorter games, so it's not like a big deal, especially 2. 2 is very short. So here I am playing 3. And so I'm in the middle of it right now. Not even the middle. I'm probably in like the first third of the game. I have good and bad things to say about it. The bad first, because I want to be more positive about it, I guess, but because I'm a fan of the series. But the negative is that, like, honestly, a lot of like certain parts of the presentation I find 100% just horrible, like unacceptable. Like it's like a mixed bag when it comes to that. When I say certain parts of the presentation, I don't mean the presentation as a whole. There's this game split up into two portions, basically. It's really easy to, well, 3. How about that? There's the combat, the mini games, and the open world. The mini games are fine. They're just fine. The open world is really bad. Like bad. Like, I don't know why they did this. Okay, so the first No More Heroes had a small open world. Similar problems, just empty and just kind of unappealing and just like kind of a unnecessary barrier to get you from one mission to the next, I thought. And then the second game, they did away with that completely. It's basically just a list, like, go to this place, go to that place, go to this place, go to this mission. And honestly, that was just fine. Like, I think that was to the betterment of that game. I think 2 is extremely tight. But in this game, yeah, 1, man, does the open world look bad? It looks bad. It's not fun to explore. It has some interesting ideas here and there, but they don't seem fleshed out. The motorbike, which is your main method of transportation, it's kind of like this bike that's ripped straight out of Akira. It just drives in a really clunky fashion that does not feel correct to me. That being said, you don't have to spend a ton of time there. It's the same thing as it was in the first game. It's kind of just like, it could have been a list. It's basically go here and then you take place in that mini game. Go here, then you take place in that battle where there's like story or whatever. Moving on to the good things. Because honestly, for so far, that's the bad stuff. Because the action, the combat, it is 100% by far the best the series has ever been. Like far and away. Like the first 2, fun, but I think like the combat was fun in the first 2, but I think it's kind of a little mindless, like just kind of hack and slash, beat them up, boom, 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 you're dead. You know, this one, there's different types of enemies that you have to take like advantage of your environment and and you have to like strategize, like which one do I take out first? What things do I have to keep in mind with this enemy? And it feels great to play. Like for some reason, like how the graphics during the open world section look really bad. They look really good in the combat. It's like the same graphics, but like it looks more polished. It's like running really good at like 60 frames per second. It feels great, and just everything's at its most flashy and just awesome. And it's intense combat, and it's great. It's really, really good. And so that's a good aspect of it. Honestly, I'm really enjoying the story. I think the story is at its best with this one compared to the first 2 games. But so all in all, because those things are so great and those are the best things in the series, that's what you want to be good in a No More Heroes game. It just feels like the open world stuff's needless, but the stuff that should be good in a No More Heroes game is good. And so for me, I'm having a great time with it. It's the main thing I'm playing right now. And Yeah, when I have time to play, I'm like, that's what I want to play. I'm like, I gotta play No More Heroes 3. I gotta finish the game. The story's ridiculous as it should be. Honestly, Luke, these games are so ridiculous. I love them. Like, talking about originality, it's wild. There's parts where I'm just like I'm walking through the open world and I'm like, oh my god, this is ugly. But then I'm fighting and like that when you defeat the last enemy and you're like, there's this one flashy thing that the game does and I just love it. Every time it happens, I smile a little bit. The last enemy you beat within the arena, you like your final strike, the screen like turns red and pixely and then goes in slow motion. This guitar comes in, it goes yeah, we talked about guitar impressions, and then on the screen it goes kill, and then your stats pop up and this rockin' song plays. You're like, this is awesome, I love this. And so there's really just insane fun things like that throughout the game. That's just like, for me, it's just the originality and like the humor and all that stuff. It like takes it so far beyond like how bad the open world is. So like, being a fan of the game, I'm pleased. It really is. It's like Scott Pilgrim mixed with Deadpool. Honestly, you have like the references and the zaniness of Scott Pilgrim and the kind of the vulgar humor of an immaturity of Deadpool, and in the the fourth wall breaking constantly. It's anime insane over the top action. He'll have a Gundam like for no reason. Like there's like in the game, like he's never had a Gundam before in the other games. Like, but that's the thing. It knows it's ridiculous. It knows it's like out of nowhere. Why does he have a Gundam? Because the creators love Gundams and the character loves Gundams. And he has a tech person, so why not give him a Gundam to fight with once in a while? It's ridiculous. And why not? And there's like not very many games like this, I feel, to where it's like they're just doing what they want. They're having fun with it. And it's just all over the place. You don't know really what you're going to see when you go into the next boss fight. Yeah, a little bit of that. Yeah. I'm happy this game exists. I'm happy I'm playing it. I never expected there to be a No More Heroes 3. It's not a game that like after yeah, just a random mini game when you're mowing lawns. It's yeah, those are some of the mini games that you can expect, and they're fine. The mini games are fine. Like honestly, they're better than they were. Like honestly, the first game's mini games, no good, no good. The first one, there's parts. It really is. That's a returning one from the first game, but in the first game, they've improved it. Funny to say, the mowing lawn simulator here is a lot more fun. The both of them were on the Nintendo Wii, and so yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And it's so funny because it's like no Wii U, and then all of a sudden you have this game that came out this generation. I think that one made it to like PlayStation and Xbox too, the Travis Strikes Again one, which is more of an indie game. Then this third one, it's interesting how we got these two games and such. I don't know. It's like the creator like woke up and was like, oh yeah, I should probably do more No More Heroes. There's a fan base for it, so I should probably do some more. But it's one of those things. I'm glad we have it. If this is the last one, so be it. But I do just wish, with stuff like the open world, I wish they took maybe a little more time, or they just nixed it completely. Because again, needless. Focus on the stuff that is lovable about the franchise, which is the story, the zaniness, the combat, the characters. Just throw them all at me. Throw them all at me like you did in No More Heroes 2. But yeah, the stuff that the game does like that, best in the series as far as all those things that you should want, like by far, I think. But anyways, No More Heroes. I'm excited about it. I'm having fun. So onward. What? Yeah, what did you hear? Did you hear my yeah, it was my echo. It like some reason picked it up and was like, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for that. Does that ever happen to you with your Apple Watch? Like you're talking and then all of a sudden you realize Siri's. Oh my gosh. Oh. Hmm. Yeah, it'll happen while I'm on the phone at work, and I'll be like this, and I'll be like typing or whatever, and then like all of a sudden it'll like, it's like a motion that I can never do purposefully. Hmm. No, not long enough. Every time I try to do it purposefully, like I want to do it, it doesn't work. But so many times it happens by itself. Anywho, let's talk about a few more things, shall we? So Gamescom happened. I honestly, this isn't like a big E3 or whatever thing. This is just there's a few things here that I find mildly interesting. So might as well talk about some of it. Yeah, that should be another thing. Movies, TV, games, mildly interesting. I don't know. We were talking about this a little bit before the show, but like I love what Jeff Keighley does. Like I love his enthusiasm and his professionalism, and always look forward to the Game Awards. It's actually probably he definitely does. But yeah, sometimes like during these shows, I'm like, yeah, this didn't really need to be a thing that I saw at an event, like yeah. Yeah. What is it? Is it a roach? Roaches fly? They have giant wings and they flap like bats across the night sky. Yeah. Surely they knew it at that point, right? I don't know. Who's to say? Yeah, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just like they make deals like we want this to be at our thing. Will you allow that? And they're like, yes, we will. Yeah. I wonder how those deals go down as far as like, can we announce this at our thing? No, we want to announce this at our thing. I'm interested to how those deals go down. Jeff, hit us up. Come on our podcast and talk about because you're listening right now. Yeah. And apparently you can like preload it like this week. So what's up with that? Why would you even do that? We talk endlessly about how space is a commodity like on your hard drive, and so like why would you waste space? Like I don't do it until the last possible I know for months. I don't do it until like the last like possible bit, like maybe a few days prior. Months. Not at all. I always just wonder who that's for. You know, it's like the same. I guess like I get like I guess so because they were talking today about like you could pre-order Horizon Forbidden West, but it's like I guess if there's like a collector's edition, but other than that, I can't imagine why you'd be chomping at the bit to like pre-order either like the regular edition or digitally this far in advance. Like, what are you worried about? I don't know. Or just the excitement of it to be like, I have it. Oh, absolutely. You know, exactly. That makes sense. That makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. Um, Absolutely, because there's no risk of it being like, I'm sorry, no more Horizon Forbidden West, and we're not selling it. We ran out of digital copies. Yeah, yep. I pre-order my games a week in advance. That's been pretty much basic for me for a few years. Be like, it's usually about a week in advance. I'm like, okay, there it is, and it usually downloads within a few days, and be like, all right. I don't know. I never, and even then, it's like needless, especially if it's like a digital game because most of my games are digital. To be like, got it. I guess just so it'll download, and I don't know. It's when we do our budget, I guess. Who knows? What else was announced? Sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Should I sing while you leave? You go ahead. I'll figure it out. I'll talk about No More Heroes more. No, you're fine. Um, let's all wish Luke luck as he goes to the restroom, and hope he has an easy go of it in the restroom. I'm going to talk a little bit about No More Heroes. In case you're wondering what the No More Heroes franchise is, and what is the No More Heroes franchise, what it is it's a hack and slash game at heart, where it's like a 3D hack and slash game where you're just running around blasting enemies with your laser sword. And so in this case, it's a beam katana. It's about as close as a lightsaber as you could possibly get without being sued by George Lucas. And yeah, that's what it's about. Running through bad guys. And really, it's like running around all the bad guys is centered around a boss fight usually. Like the bosses are like the main attraction of the game, to where it's like, yeah, you have your villains that you're slashing through, and this one they did a really good job with them, but the main thing in these games are the bosses. To go up against the bosses, learn their moves, learn what they're about, and take them down. And something I failed to mention earlier: the bosses in bosses and just the fights in general in No More Heroes 3 way more challenging than they ever have been, because before you could basically just hack and slash your way through the entire thing. Like, sure, you have to dodge here and there. It's not like a walk in the park, but it's simple. In this, it's a lot more strategy at play. There's a few more things you have to kind of keep track of, and you definitely have to utilize everything at your disposal to take out the different enemies and bosses, and they do a really great job at it. It feels like an evolution of the battles for sure. But if you're coming into the franchise, honestly, jumping in at 3 is not a good idea. As random and as senseless as the story is, there is kind of a through line a little bit. It's not like Kingdom Hearts or anything like that, or like Metal Gear Solid, where the continuity is insanely tight and you're gonna miss a million different things, and they pay so much attention to the continuity. But that being said, it's like there's characters you'll want to pay attention to. There's callbacks that you'll want to get. So I recommend playing the first two games first, at least the first two games, and maybe even Travis Strikes Again. But they're both remastered and on the Switch. Each one of them's $20 a pop, so $40 for the two games, which I think is actually a pretty great deal. Honestly, I think you get your money's worth. I think the second one especially holds up a little bit more than the first, but the first one still is good. You just kind of have to forgive some of the janky open world stuff. But The second one is extremely streamlined, and I think it benefits a lot from that. But yeah, I'd say they're easy plays, especially the second one. But check them out if you're interested in the franchise. I think like it's kind of a fun distraction because there's so many games out there that like even if they're on the weirder side, like some of these other Japanese games, they're still like of a trope, like Final Fantasy and a bunch of JRPG games. There's like they have different flavors, but I don't know. It doesn't get as weird and crazy as this to where it feels it just I don't know, feels unique and feels fun and it feels like something I've missed in games, because I don't know. I'm having trouble thinking of a games that are like that have such a sense of humor and they're so zany. Like I don't really even know. I mean, Luke mentioned Saints Row. Saints Row is that. I mean, I guess we're gonna talk about the Saints Row reboot when he gets back, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like there was like an era of like these kind of games being around, and I think the Wii, PS3, Xbox 360 era, that was where there was just a ton of games that were just like wild. A lot of crazy experimental games. Like what was that one game? I was like Alice into Madness or something. Um Luke, welcome back. I was just to kind of wrap up what I was talking to myself about was do you remember you're on mute by the way. Do you remember I was trying to think of like why No More Heroes feels so novel now because I think like back in that era, Wii, PS3, Xbox 360 was like a time where there was a lot of wild, crazy games back then where there was just a lot of weird stuff and there was like example like that Alice in Journey into Madness or whatever, just this random Alice in Wonderland game where you're just a crazy Alice going through Wonderland as an insane Alice. I don't know. There's yeah. 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 There were a lot of mid-range games in that time period too, It's like yeah, absolutely. And like I feel like now I think a lot one of the reasons why we're not seeing quite as many, I feel like there's a lot of indie games where it's like that low kind of like, that lower budget kind of game, but like that double A games. Yeah. Those like double A games where it's like they're not like your Uncharted or your Halo, but they're somewhere in between that indie. Like yeah, there's more. Yeah, ID Xbox. Yeah. Yeah. I hear a lot of good things, like, in interviews or whatever about Xbox as far as like their support for indie games and putting them like in the forefront. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Saints Row. What do you think about that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it looks just fine. It looks good, and I think it's a good thing to do, probably, to say we're gonna kind of take it back to, because you're so deep into it. What, Saints Row 5 is what they're at right now? Is that right? Because they like put the title in like the number in with it, like Get Out of Hell. I have no idea. I think so. Because they also sold them separately, which, like, to like their standalone as well, and so it did kind of make it confusing to where, yeah, yeah. I mean, but no, I think it's a good idea. I think it's smart to say we're gonna, because it's gotten crazy. It's good to kind of just go back and be like, all right. Yeah, no, I'm interested in checking it out. Yeah, we didn't talk about this, but they did. This was like, I think, last week, honestly, where they announced that they're doing a Dead Space remake. Did you hear about that? Looks good. Hmm. Yeah, a lot of people have been looking forward to this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What are let's go ahead and talk about this for a bit. What are some games that you would like to get that remake treatment, like the modern remake that we've been seeing, like all the Dead Space and Resident Evil 2 and 3, that sort of thing. Like, what are some games that you've been wanting to get that sort of treatment? Yeah. A remaster, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. There's no way you're alone in that. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Um. Yeah, for sure. I would love to see a Metal Gear Solid complete remake, ground up. Like I've never got that. That's from an outsider because I've never. Well, no, I mainly the first one because for me, I feel like getting into the second one, the third one would be a much smaller ask than being like, no, 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 Jordan, go back to the PlayStation 1 Metal Gear Solid because that's like the ground floor, really, right? And so it's like get people in on the franchise. It's like you just gotta do it, and it's and it's they're hard to play. It's hard to play now for me. Like I tried and I'm just like I can't do this. Yeah. Right? Yeah. 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 I mean, for me, I'm sometimes so surprised that so many people have played and love Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm not speaking to the quality. What I'm doing is I'm saying like I played Metal Gear Solid 5 for like 2 hours, and then like with every single cutscene, me going, "What the hell is going on here?" and not knowing anything at all. And it's just like you can't just jump into any game in this franchise. You have to. So it would be like Kingdom. It's like people give Kingdom Hearts like crap. It's like it's the same thing over here where you're just like, you cannot jump in. You have to know your stuff, basically. And I have no real motivation to watch a YouTube video saying, here's what happened. So I want to play Psychonauts not 2, and I'm going to. But I am 100% fine with me being like, here's the story of Psychonauts 1 on YouTube. I'm 100% okay with that. But when it's so many games and the story is so convoluted as Metal Gear, I feel like it'd be great to go back and have an easy way to do that, and to where it feels good. So I'd love that. I don't think we're ever gonna see this, but I would love an Ocarina of Time remake. There's so many. I'm not saying anything crazy here. There's so many people who want that, but I think it's such a pivotal game for the Zelda franchise. I feel like them remaking that game, root and stern, I feel like that would be the way to go. I mean, because like so much, it's like people talk about the Zelda timeline. It's like with Ocarina of Time, that's like the most pivotal one as far as that, because that's when like the timeline splits and all this stuff, and there's like all the so much iconography from all the different games is referencing Ocarina of Time. It's like such a big game, it would make sense if they just like, let's remake it, like let's redo the controls, maybe make it a little bit more like Breath of the Wild a little bit. I don't know, just modernize it a little bit, make it look good as crap, or as good as they can make it look, and just, yeah, that, I think that's the move. I think that'd be great. There's no need to remake other games like Mario 64 or Star Fox 64. Those games are fine, but Ocarina of Time, let's do it. Yeah, that was a nice segue. We're obviously, there's not a ton of things to talk about, but I think we mentioned earlier before we started the show, there's a lot of delays in movies, right? No kidding. Not just like, there's been a few that like delayed their movie by like a few weeks. Like I think Venom delayed it just by like a few weeks. But these movies got kicked. When they delay a movie, they freaking delay a movie. Holy crap. They already did it once where it was like, we're kicking it. You know, these movies were supposed to come out summer of last year. And now it's like, and they kicked it all the way to fall of this year. And now, no, it's what do we have here? It's, let's, oof, that was a Hail Mary. It was 2020, yeah. But they Hail Mary married that thing all the way to fall 2021. But yeah, and now here we are. It'll be a 2-year delay, pretty much, like a Kingsman situation with Maverick at this point. Yeah, yeah, wow, yeah, yeah. And I don't want to say it again. No, see it again. You're fired, and you're fired. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely, and that sucks. I'm surprised they decided to push them so far. I think the reasoning is, it's like if you push it just a little bit, then you're end up competing with the Eternals or Spider-Man or something like that. Something where it's like you don't want your movie to come out like the weekend after that or the weekend of that. And so it's like, in order to move it, you have to move it way out. Yeah, it's crowded. Yeah, and so I think that's why it's so far. No, you're jackass. And you're going up against Spider-Man. Yeah, even Top Gun. Yeah, you're both gonna get a bite taken out of you, I think, in some way, you know. So I don't think they want that, and so that's why you got this long, long thing. It's not like a statement as far as like COVID's gonna last this long, or you know, or the spike or whatever. But it's like, yeah, to move it at all, you have to stay out of the way of either your own release or something else big that's coming out that you do not want to compete with, or I don't know. It sucks, but yeah, it is what it is, man. Um, Jackass. That's the one funny one to me because it's obviously the much smaller movie. You got freaking Top Gun, Maverick, and the Mission Impossible sequel, and you know then you got Johnny Knoxville getting busted in the chest by a bull or whatever. It's like okay. Oh, is it too? Oh gosh. Oh, okay. That was that. Yeah. Okay. That's not. Yeah, that doesn't hurt too much for the fans. Yeah. That's the thing, man. We go to theaters as much as we do. You get so sick of some of these trailers. You're like, enough already. If I hear this trailer one more freaking time, no, stop it. I'm done. Exactly. I'm done immediately. Like, how many trailers have come out for my god, I can't even think of the freaking name anymore. The James Bond. It's like I think the thing is we go to theaters whenever oh my god, I can't think of the name. Whenever the trailer for the James Bond movie comes in, my wife laughs. Like she actually laughs mainly because like it's just the can that keeps getting kicked down the road. It's almost like a bad joke. And we saw that first trailer so many times and so, No Time to Die. Oh my gosh. Because I was thinking like I was like Live and Let Die. No, that's not it. You know, Die Another Day. No, that's not it. It's just there's a lot of yeah, right. That's gonna be the next one. But yeah. All right. It is what it is. We're seeing Shang-Chi in a few days. I'm happy. Shang-Chi. Sorry. Gosh. Jeez. No. Maybe it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be the thing where it's like after you see the movie at least once or twice, that'll like do you because you'll at first I could not for the life of me like just seeing the title I was like, oh, Raya and the Last Dragon. And then it wasn't until I saw the movie I was finally able to like say Raya without trying. But anyways. Yeah, we'll be here next week to talk all about Shang-Chi. Legend of the Ten Rings. Yeah, I'm excited, and I absolutely I expect to have fun. But anyways, dude, it's been fun as always. See you on the next one.